Hello everyone and welcome to Jump Up Supercast, the only podcast on the internet where we're going to be a new style in Mario Maker 2. I'm Will, and joining me today, Brandon.
I'm the only one who gets to wear a catsuit.
Ills.
Motherfucker, what?
Noah.
I get to go down slides.
And Muzamil.
I just want to talk about how much I love 3D World.
No.
Okay, all right.
Well,
Podcast.
Not in relation to anything else. Not in relation to
okay, all right.
anything
We can
else.
Purely his affection for it.
We can talk
No.
about that then. All right.
I really like Super Mario 3D World.
Before we get to that, let's talk, first things first, the obligatory, how are we doing this week, boys?
Fantastic.
Very lonely and sad because it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, well,
Fair point.
any hole in my heart has been filled by the Nintendo Direct. I'm very excited. That's all I need.
I feel good now
I'm
that
feeling
Saf
the
is in
love.
here.
Love is in the air for me.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, I guess we should mention then. We should just get into the Nintendo Direct. They gave us 35 minutes of stuff to show. We're almost certainly going to go more than 35 minutes.
Absolutely.
But that's the nature of the beast. So, do we want to
there
start
it
at the
is.
beginning or the end?
Let's start with the beginning. Let's go.
Beginning.
All right, the beginning.
Very
Yeah,
good
come on.
place to start,
Let's
I've heard.
Let's start with the non-news, the Smash Brothers.
Oh, well,
no.
one
Let's
day.
go with
That's
the
not the
opening.
beginning.
All right,
Mario
we'll
Maker
do
2.
it.
We've
It's
already
news
talked
for
about
people
it
that
all
don't
day.
know about Joker.
Time to let Will do his job.
Mario Maker 2, the thing opens, right? And right there, you see Mario. I love this. This is a very good bit. He jumps, there's a ton of spinies. They're like, hey, all you people complained about slopes in the first game. Look at all the slopes. You're sliding down these things. And then right there, Mario Maker 2. And this is a very fast-paced trailer. They're throwing a ton at you. Hard to tell, in some ways, like you have to rewatch it, right? But the big thing, like Amuzi alluded to, they're adding, as of right now, one new style, Super Mario 3D World, which is cool because there's a bunch of stuff that's never been in a 2D level design before, such as Catsuit Mario, the clear pipes that you can travel through, the bullet bills in the background shooting forward, and then finally ends with June 2019. Which is crazy.
That is a crazy fast turnaround for a game we did not know existed the day before. Like that. And like, especially for a game like Mario Maker 2, that is a big title for Nintendo, and for them to be like, hey, yeah, it's out in 4 months. It's so cool. And that is such a cool thing. It'll make E3 time even more fun because we'll have Mario Maker to play. But
That's true. It's very true.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a certain question of like, was Mario Maker going to get a port? Is it going to get a sequel? But when the Switch was first unveiled, because the Mario Maker 1 was one of the big successes on the Wii U of the few that were sort of on that system. They're going all out in a way that I think is really cool. There's other little details. You can now have scrolling levels, which was not available in the original game. Yoshi is more full featured than he was in the original game. There's switches. Basically, every element that you add to a Maker game like this allows more and more creativity. And with this original stuff, Moose, you mentioned to me, you're not a guy that was into Mario Maker 1, but you're very into Mario Maker 2. What was it that made the difference in your perception?
yeah, I mean, because they've added so many crazy elements that really just make all the difference in terms of like how you can make a Mario level, because like say what you want about the new Super Mario Brothers games, but like the levels featured in those games are nothing like you see in the older games, right? Because you like literally cannot do that on those older hardware. And Mario Maker has added this level of complexity that you can add to the levels, like in a way that I didn't even think it would do. Like you can set custom paths for how the level scrolls. There's certain stage elements that you can literally control the path on how it will play out in the level, and like all this stuff is just like it adds up to making these Mario levels that are on par with the crazy stuff that are in the newer games.
I know, it's like super exciting. In the first Mario Maker, like there were certain things that I wanted to do, like puzzle-wise, I guess would be the best term, but also like other things, and it was a little bit restricting. Like again, it was already like very like the tools that you could use in Mario Maker to create levels was already like vast and great and a lot, but now it's even more, and it makes it very exciting. I'm very looking forward to making more levels.
Yeah, it's just the level of creativity that's going to be on display with this game is going to be so great. And I think that like and then like you said, like adding the 3D world elements, like not just that 3D world style, which just looks great in 2D, by the way, but just adding all these elements that you don't see in 2D Mario. Like it goes even beyond what we see in like New Super Mario Brothers, because like these are stuff that we just haven't seen in 2D games, and it's cool to add those elements. And people are just going to be able to make such cool levels now, and I'm excited for this. Like Super Mario Maker 2, like it lives up to the name too, right? Like just like Smash Ultimate, just like Splatoon 2, I think that they're going all out with this sequel, justify, hey, this is a brand new Super Mario Maker game. And yeah, it's just all around a great announcement. That trailer too was just fantastic because the
Very
music
well
that played.
placed. Yeah.
Ooh.
And they made the point to say that they still have more to show before it launches. And I mean, I think it's of note that like the box art has Luigi right next to Mario. We didn't see hide nor hair of Luigi in this trailer. And like on the big key art, there's a little Toad building. There's Toadette in the cat suit. So there's, I don't know if they'll have different playable attributes, if you'll be able to just play as other characters other than Mario. We don't know for sure. But, I think that it's neat that we've already seen a fair amount just in this 1.5 minute trailer. But there's going to be more coming, obviously before June, which is still crazy to me, right? Mario has lived in October the last couple of years in terms of when his games come out. And they're just like, nah, man, middle of summer,
June?
right, around E3. Here's this game.
And in the last investor briefing, they made a point. Hey, like we are going to pace our titles better, right? We're not gonna, because they name called one of the biggest weaknesses of this fiscal year was like, hey, the first half of the year we were a little bit light on content, from April to September, and now it's like, I mean, we'll talk about the other announcements later, but starting right off the bat with Mario Maker from June, it's just like a non-stop onslaught of games, and it's crazy to me that like. They are in a place this year that Mario Maker doesn't even need to be a holiday game, because they just have so much content for the year. It's a really good sign.
Yeah. So after that, they go into Koizumi pops up. Of course, he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be your little conductor on this train." Snaps his fingers. Headlines pop up. We see the first, I guess, a second look after the announcement of Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. Where they show off, I mean, it's I don't think there's anything that's too surprising here, but I think the performance looks actually better than that first trailer. Frame rate wise, they have all of the characters that are from the movies you're familiar with, also the X-Men's in there, also, Spider-Man's in there. It's all the characters sort of that are popular and that are known, which is nice. And it's coming out in summer. So we're gonna get used to hearing that. It's coming out in summer because they put that date on a lot of it.
A lot of summer games.
Yeah, I was really excited for this one. Like I'm really looking forward to playing multiplayer with most of you guys. I'm guessing. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
I was happy there's
yeah.
online.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I'm happy there's online.
I am too.
And in
And,
general, like the trailer did anything for me, but it's I'm happy this exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the character models look really good. I like the way Carol Danvers looks right now.
Mm-hmm.
She looks really nice.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that this isn't coming out like on par with the fourth Avengers movie, but whatever. Who cares?
Yeah. If need be, if it needs the extra time to make it, be run well at release, then that's
Yeah.
takes
That's
priority.
more important than anything else.
Yeah. So then after that, we got a return of an old friend from the 3DS, Box Boy. But now on this
Yes!
Valentine's Day, he now has a box girl.
Oh.
Aw.
What is this love shit?
I
I've liked
freaking love Box Boy. Like these games on the 3DS were so much fun. They're so creative. The
Yeah.
crazy things that Hal threw at you in the levels were just were just really fun. And surprisingly, like I didn't in my head I didn't think Box Boy would be a game that would benefit from HD, but like it looks really nice. It just looks really pleasant to look at. So
Yeah.
that's nice.
It looks the same.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things, though. It's like it's sometimes it's like simple geometry in high resolution actually like looks nice. Is the thing, right? Like I don't know. Like I get kind of where it's coming from, and that like
Go
it's
look
that
at the
thing
3DS
of what
game.
you remember. Yeah, it's what you remember it looking like, but like it on 3DS, it didn't actually look that way. It's like the Ocarina of Time remakes that people always say it looks the same. Like actually, it's pretty improved. But
Looks way
also,
fucking better.
Okay.
yeah, 270
Thank you.
levels, the most of any Box Boy game. In case you don't know,
That's impressive.
yeah, it's a ton. They said
Yeah.
there's going to be co-op levels, single player levels. There's one with QB, who they refer to as the tall one. And he, instead of him being the 1x1 block, he's 1x2. So there's more verticality to his levels and different puzzles you can solve with that, which is cool.
Two-player co-op, I think, is what I'm most excited about this with.
Mm-hmm.
I'll end up getting it for sure. So I'm excited. The only thing I'm disappointed about is, where the fuck are Amiibo at, huh? I thought, I was waiting for it. Once I saw it revealed, I was like, we're finally getting it over here. Finally, it's about time. No, nothing, man. So, that's a little disappointing. I would have loved to get that Amiibo. The Box Boy one. It's one of the rarest Amiibos out there, and I only collect the North American Amiibos because I'm not about to, get messed up in the butthole by all these prices.
$100 for an Amiibo is beyond the realm of feasibility.
I'm looking at a QB Amiibo on my nightstand right now, actually.
Don't rub it in.
Well, you know what? You don't have a completed collection of Amiibos, all right? Don't get me started.
You gave up on Digby.
Oh boy.
April 26th is the day for Box Boy and Box Boy.
I was hoping this would be a shadow drop, not gonna lie. I don't want to wait 2 months to play Box Boy, but
there was a ton of shadow drops.
Yeah. There was a lot.
You cannot
not everything can be a shadow drop, Like I get that.
Yes.
It's just like I want to play it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'll have.
It would have been appropriate because you get Box Girl and Box Boy at the same time. So Valentine's Day would have been a good.
It would have been cute. Yeah. Then we got, as Ilz alluded to early on, a kind of update for Smash Ultimate, which is 3.0 is coming. What's in it? We're gonna tell you later. And also here's Joker's model. You can see what he looks like in the game, so that's good at least. He's running
back.
Well, we didn't actually know when Joker was coming, but now we know he's coming with the update, so that's some news.
By the end of April, we'll have Joker. We'll have 3.0. I wonder if this means they're gonna do a Smash Direct again, because the DLC stuff.
What else could they if they do, then they're going to have to add a lot to version 3.0, which would be exciting.
I mean, I don't think that they'll label it as this big exciting event, but the DLC in the Wii U and 3DS days did get their own. It had 2 little presentations they did, one around E3 and then one around December at the end of the year of that year. I wonder if they kind of do the same thing here. I wonder that. I don't know how comprehensive this 3.0 update is, but at least it'd be a good time to announce one more character.
Or I mean, you could fit it in either a April Direct or April Mini Direct, right? It would be fine. Here's 2 minutes of here's Joker's out now. Here's tournaments are improved or whatever.
The way they're teasing 3.0, I at least wonder if there's actually at least more content besides
there has to be more content being added, right?
Yeah, because 2.0 was kind of it was
it just
captures
dropped out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it was video capture, so there wasn't a lot to it,
Yeah. There wasn't much to 2.0, but I wonder because they're teasing 3.0. I wonder if it's a little bit more meaty than we would think, or I guess maybe just Joker's just that big of a deal. I don't know. Who knows? We'll see.
We'll see. Then Captain Toad, our good friend, is back. This is a real surprising one. Captain Toad's getting paid DLC and a free update that makes all the levels now retroactively have co-op, which is cool. And then they said it was 18 new challenges and 5 new courses, I think was the exact numbers. And they have a little bundle on the eShop. It's $6 for the DLC stuff, so not crazy expensive. I think appropriate for what that amount of content sounds like. But
yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't sound like that much in how Captain Toad is. Honestly, it doesn't take that long to beat most of the levels. So
yeah, but I mean, I think it's cool. Just to that. Captain Toad is a game that I was surprised when it came to Switch period at first, and I'm even more surprised that it's getting further support down the line.
It was a million seller, so
it did $1 million.
It did enough. I'm just happy more Captain Toad is coming because I thought that this would be that'd be it. We're done with Captain Toad, but no, we're gonna a little bit more. So I'm all for it.
A little bit.
Give me a Captain Toad sequel, and I'm on board with that.
I would be extremely in. Next up, they did Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Finally,
this is a game.
Yes,
coming out in summer.
Yeah,
no release date still.
No release date, but at least we have a time frame, right?
Finally.
I guess the big thing there was they showed off was that you can customize the look of Miriam, which is cool but weird. I'm happy it exists. It's cool that people get to customize things to how they want it to, but it's that's a game that we're all just sort of, I think, waiting right now come out, please. Right? Just like
It looks
we're all
good.
ready for it.
At least the gameplay stuff looked cool. Like it seemed like it was throwing out some neat ideas and just
Yeah.
graphically, it's still not too hot on it, but it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah, it has that like 3D model kind of in a 2D setting, kind of,
Yeah,
display,
which
but,
you can do right, but I feel like Bloodstain.
yeah,
but,
it's
yeah,
it's a little bit like discordant,
yeah.
like to the eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Then right after that, to end this set of headlines, we had another portion after. Dragon Quest Builders 2 gets shown off.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm extremely in for Dragon Quest Builders 2. I love Dragon Quest Builders 1, but this one has online co-op and local co-op as well. It's coming in July.
That makes me want to play it. I never played the first Dragon
Yeah,
Quest.
I never got a chance to play the first one either because I didn't have a PlayStation at the time. So
It's on the Switch.
It is on Switch now.
and they
but-
said you get the first.
well, I didn't get that either, but yeah.
yeah, but now this one has online co-op, so maybe more reason. to get
Online
this
co-op,
one.
that's what I care about. That's
Yeah.
what made me
That is
okay.
definitely motivating me to get
I think
it
so.
more.
Will played the first one way more than I did, but from what
Yeah.
I did play, like it was like it was actually a lot of fun, like more fun than I thought it would have. Like it's I think having those like this focus of like, hey, this is you need to accomplish this, makes like this kind of Minecraft-esque game a little bit more fun for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, to pardon the phrase, but there's quests in the Dragon Quest Builders, right? Like that's the difference is that you have characters, and it's just there's something that is very like when you build something in Minecraft, you're in like a single player mode. You look and you're like, I built this. I can share this with no one, right? Like this is it. And even in Builders, it's a dumb little thing, but just whenever you finish just a simple house of just like you put a bed down and a pot down and a torch and people can live in that house, all the people in your town all come in and they all clap for you and they're like, you did it. And you're like, hey, this is cute.
feel good.
I'm having fun.
Yeah, it's a cute little game. I liked the bit of Builders I played enough that I'll probably still pick up Builders too. Yeah, it looks cute. I'm in for it.
Yeah. That's coming in July. That's another summer release. July 12th specifically. Then after that, weird that they just go from Dragon Quest to another Dragon Quest, but this is one of, I guess, the highlight games that they did. They did this in Fire Emblem as really the two big ones. For Dragon Quest 11S, Echoes of an Elusive Age, Definitive Edition.
There's a lot of colons in that one.
There's a lot of words in that one.
But I think they definitely proved the worth of the title Definitive Edition because
I was
there's a lot
really
here.
surprised because as a longtime fan of Dragon Quest, it's a series that has had versions that come out later that add in an extra party member, change a couple cutscenes around. This is the most substantial version of that ever. The 3DS version of Dragon Quest XI never came to the West. The whole gimmick of that was that it would have 3D models and the original 16-bit look. The 16-bit portion of the 3DS version is now in Dragon Quest XI-S. So all the battles can look like an SNES RPG. You explore the world in that way. It's all in the game. Some of the soundtrack is orchestrated now. That was a big complaint when 11 first came out, is that it's all done in MIDI because the composer, while also being a war crime denialist, also is just stupid and refuses to use orchestras. It's a whole thing. The composer for Dragon Quest is not a nice man.
No, he's not a good. But aside from his personal stuff, which is also
but like
terrible,
also his products, he
refuses
refuses to.
He's
use
just an
orchestras.
asshole and doesn't let like the orchestrated. He insists on using like the MIDI versions of these songs, and it's like, God damn it, man.
Yes,
but
in the Switch
somehow
version, I don't know. They must have convinced him. The main things are the field themes and the battle themes. So the things you hear the most, right? Are the things that are getting redone. And also, there's going to be new story stuff. For every single party member, they're going to have their own little scenario that gives more backstory and more of a spotlight to each party member. Also, I mean, I guess spoilers, you can, at the end of the game, you can now get hitched to any of the party members. So that's cool.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh, baby.
Any of them?
All right.
Any of them.
Reminds
Oh,
me of another
shit.
game we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, it's true. Love is in the air, but
Oh, stop.
Mwah.
mwah, mwah.
Just stop. Stop.
After
please.
this-
But Dragon Quest 11 looked pretty surprisingly good. Like I was like, oh man, like the Switch version looks better than I thought it should be. Yeah. Like obviously you could still tell it's a downgrade from the PS4 version, but like it looks good enough. And then including the 3DS version, including orchestrated tracks and including new scenarios, like I'm happy I waited because I'm gonna enjoy this game a lot on my Switch.
Yeah, slightly annoyed that I put 60 hours in, but I'll do it again. I'm an animal. Yeah. So that was cool. Then they cut. This is funny. What a way to open the next portion of headlines, but with Disney Soon Festival. What is this?
I've never heard of it. I have no idea what the fuck it's about. It does.
I didn't watch this live, and when I watched it, I just skipped this part.
So this is we did not talk about it the other day, a couple weeks ago, but when they announced Dr. Mario World in partnership with Line. Line is a Japanese mobile developer. This is their biggest game, and it's huge in Asia. Like, makes a ton of money. So I would bet that when they made the deal to make Dr. Mario World, they also said, "Hey, bring your big game to Switch." I don't know. I don't want to focus on this. We're just gonna move on.
Well, I just want quick thing about that. The production values of this game seem way higher than they should be. Like, it's so weird.
I mean, it's a type of game you don't get anymore. It's like weird minigame collections with like licensed properties. But that was a backdoor shady deal in front of us. Next up, we got another update for a game that just refuses to stop. Starlink Battle for Atlas. A game that got... So I think the most exciting thing that Starlink ever had was the Star Fox content they announced at E3 last year. That's not done.
The only thing I literally know about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And so now you're getting... They had the original Star Fox where he's in the game. Then they had the Wolf DLC. Now it's everybody else is showing up. It's Leon and Pigma and I forget the other guy, Andrew Oikeni, I think, and then the rest of Team Star Fox, all with their own skill trees and stuff. And there's also going to be a racing mode with R-Wings. This feels very...
There it is, F-Zero's Star Fox.
There's Car Fox.
That was the rumor all along.
Man, there's a non-zero chance.
So it's a little weird though that they're even updating this game, because as far as I know, this game sold like shit. You know, it sold way better on Switch than the other platforms. It still was not a very high number. So like this getting a substantial content update for free this spring, it's a little eyebrow raising. You know, like you wonder why are they doing this? You know, I wonder if these guys are being prepped to make another Star Fox.
I mean, that's
like
my
an
thought.
Actual Star Fox.
Like, we already have Mario plus Rabbids showing precedent of giving Nintendo IPs over to Ubisoft, like, and something's going on here. It's worth mentioning, this stuff is free. All this content stuff is coming in April, and this game is like $20 on like Amazon.
I literally just bought it for $10 the other day, just yesterday, with the R-Wing and all. I was like, $10. So can't go wrong with that.
The barrier of entry to get to that Star Fox stuff is actually far lower than it used to be. Then after that, this is an interesting one. I want to give a special shout out to this one, because at first I was like, Rune Factory, what are you doing here? And this is Rune Factory 4 Special, which is a updated version of the 3DS game, slightly up-res, but still clearly a 3DS game. And then Rune Factory 5 was also announced at the end of this. But the thing that's of note that I forgot about until reading up, Rune Factory and its developer declared that they were going under like 2 years ago. So this is a crazy comeback from literally financial bankruptcy. That because they released one final 3DS version of the game, it did well enough to keep them around, and now they're making the Switch version.
Oh, I want to say, didn't they start up a new development studio or something like that? The original studio is defunct, but then they got all the same people, made a new studio, and they're doing this, and it's just really cool. Like, you love that kind of story, of like, man, these developers died, but they're back from the dead, making a sequel of this franchise. And like a lot of people, like, obviously Rune Factory is like a niche franchise, but like a lot of people love Rune Factory, and so you feel good when you see those guys happy. You're like, oh, good for them.
It started on the DS. It's a mix of Zelda, dungeon exploration, and Harvest Moon, right? Like you doing better on the farm helps you do better in the dungeons, and vice versa. And I think that's a neat idea. I think that
as far as I know, it literally started as a Harvest Moon action spinoff. Yeah, like that was the
No, it was the subtitle. It was like Rune Factory: A Harvest Moon Story. It was the original subtitle for the first one.
Yes, the first one.
Yeah. But also there was a lot of people, I think, that saw this for the first time and were like, oh, that sounds like a neat premise. right? Like,
Yeah.
and so hopefully it can have space to grow.
And hell, with Stardew Valley, I mean, there's a market for this kind of game on Switch. You know, like
yeah,
people-
Stardew's at like 2 million on Switch.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what? I've always been interested in this, and I think it's time. Now it's time.
Mhm.
I'm doing it. I'm taking the jump. I love Harvest Moon, so I've always been like, I kind of want to play these games, but now's the time, boy. I'm
Now's the
doing it.
time.
I'm getting this game.
I respect
And-
that, Brandon.
Now you can marry people. I guess
Yes.
what you couldn't do before.
No, I guess you couldn't. Which is crazy. That's a Harvest Moon thing. Like that's been in
That
there
is a Harvest Moon thing, yeah. That's always been one of the big things in Harvest Moon. You can get married.
Mhm.
And I always assumed for some reason that you could in these games, but I guess not. But now you can, so that's super cool. So
Mhm.
love's still in the air.
Love is still in
Mwah,
there. Then after that, we got the third title so far from Tokyo RPG Factory. The first two, I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere. This one, Oninaki.
Mhm.
It's Muzumi mentioned this to me because the whole pitch of originally Tokyo RPG Factory was we're getting a lot of the band back together. We're getting a bunch of the old SNES RPG guys in one place to make throwbacks. And they finally got, I think, for the first time, the director of Chrono Trigger on this game. Right? We're not going to say it's going to be to the quality of Chrono Trigger, but like that's a name you should pay attention to.
Yes.
So yeah,
Didn't
like
he
with-
make a phone game recently?
That's the
I'm
Final
sure
Fantasy
The
guy.
Switch.
I'm sure Square Enix put him on mobile and stuff. But like, it's interesting because like Tokyo RPG Factory, like they kind of live up to their name so far, and like these are RPG games kind of made like they're very
In a
what's the word I'm
factory.
looking for. Yeah, and
Boilerplate.
yeah, and but this one actually like at least visually, like immediately visually, it's like okay, this looks like more interesting than Lost
Sure.
Sphere and I Am Setsuna did.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just having we got the director of Chrono Trigger to be the creative director of this game. I mean, maybe finally they'll make a pretty solid game.
And the
Yeah.
one thing that I did like about I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere is the tone. Like they have a more
Mhm.
somber tone than a lot of JRPGs have these days. And this looks to be carrying it on with the stuff about reincarnation and like you can't mourn the people you die because if you fall into despair then you don't reincarnate. It's a weird, JRPG premise, but like it's hitting a tone that I think there's not a lot of RPGs like it on the Switch right now. And so I'm interested. And that's also coming in the summer. So there you
Yeah,
go.
Summer.
summer's
Uh,
packed.
Packed.
It's packed. Speaking of things though that are coming up, we got a demo shadow drop for Yoshi's Crafted World.
Ah,
Oh, one of several
played
that
it.
were actually that came.
I played the demo. It's
Mhm.
cute. It's you can play the level. There's what this demo taught me is like I mean I'm not surprised because Yoshi games tend to be like this, especially Woolly World. But the game is very replayable because like basically like for every level you want to go through it at least 3 times to do different objectives, and they make it
Mhm.
different enough every time that you're like it's a fun little game and I'm gonna have a good time with it. I'm excited
Yeah.
to play it.
And that's the closest game that they announced so far, which is March 29th. So that'll be
Yeah.
soon.
Yay.
Coming up.
They also showed that there's like these little like boxes that Yoshi can dress himself up in. They're cute. One's like a
Yeah.
bullet bill. One's like a little boat.
They didn't say this in the direct, but there is amiibo support.
Bless.
Thank you.
Woolly World had crazy amiibo support, so that's actually cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
insane.
And this
so
one-
I assumed this one would, and it does.
This one's funny too because this time it's not Yoshi who's changing, but like Yoshi has like a little like he has cover that he can use, like and like he basically
Yeah.
he wears like a little costume, and some of the costumes I've seen are hilarious. One of the ones they showed in the direct was a Nintendo Labo piano, and it's just it's funny
Yeah,
to
that
see
was
Yoshi
funny.
wearing that. I don't know, it's cute. It's
Yeah, it looks like they're doing like anything they can think of in this game. It looks so crazy.
They're really,
Really inventive.
fully making use of the whole like arts and crafts theme, more so than even Woolly World
Yeah.
did. I think like they're going just all
It
out with
reminds
this
me-
idea.
It reminds me so much of Tearaway, but like better.
Sure, I can see that a whole.
Yeah, I can see that a lot
Because-
actually. Yeah, you're totally
Yeah.
right.
Because Tearaway is like you said, like Moose alluded to, like it uses like cardboard and tape and fabrics and everything. Where like Yoshi's Woolly World was sort of textiles. That was the whole thing of it, right? So, but now it's like also like you're on these tables. Like it's literally like some kid made this like as an art project, but you're like playing through it. It's very cute.
Yeah.
And when you look at the backside of the level, you can literally see like the how how it looks from behind and how like they made it look like that. You know, it's a really funny thing, and it's a very cute game.
And so that's the end of that little headlines portion. Then we get a deep dive on the game that they announced would be a thing at the Direct, Fire Emblem Three Houses, right?
Oh yeah.
And this is one that's interesting because, like, on the first view, I was like, "Oh, that was okay," but like the more I looked back at the trailer a couple times, or I mean, it's not a trailer; it's like a 5-minute, just explanation. And there's some neat concepts in here that I think will make for a very good strategy game, like for the game side of it, right? We had seen very little of this game really, if you think about it, since E3 last year. We had saw that the game exists basically, and that there's 3 houses, and so we sort of all thought, oh, maybe it'll be like these different houses at war and all that stuff. But the intro is like, no, actually, when the game starts, you're in relative peace. The 3 houses are not the 3 like kingdoms; they're the 3 houses at the school that you teach at. You're a teacher, instead of a lord. You're the son of a mercenary, so you're not affiliated with any of these 3 kingdoms, but you train up these students. And that leads into gameplay stuff, right? So if you pause it, there's a lesson plan that you have for each character, and they have all the different. Yeah, I mean, like as a teacher, I was dreaded with the word lesson plan when it popped up on screen.
Isn't this game made for you, basically?
Well, you would think I come home to escape, but we'll try to make it work.
Well, you can send your students into fight and maybe die.
I can send them into die in battle. Yeah, but like you can like have them train up in swords or axes or the classic Fire Emblem stuff, and then also
have them learn mounts. Have them, it's really pretty comprehensive.
Yeah,
I was very mixed on this. Like, I was excited to get more news about it, and I like that you get the choice, like to choose between 3 houses and what you want to go for. But I don't like the whole school setting thing at all.
It's weird.
I think a lot of people have compared it to, like, I've seen this take on Twitter so much of like, oh, it's like Harry Potter, which I thought was funny. I hate
that comparison so much. It makes me hate it even more.
I guess, sure, yeah, but I think for a lot of people this kind of resonates. I think that's cool because on the 3DS, Fire Emblem tried these weird like extraneous elements like the My Castle things that were in the older games, and they didn't end up actually meaning much at all. Whereas this feels like fleshed out in a way that it's actually going to matter in the actual on the field gameplay, right? Because you're training up your students, you're the one teaching them their skills.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it's still
yeah, sorry, go on.
It's like story-wise, like it doesn't feel like it doesn't have anything like heavy or engaging or interesting going on.
But they kind of hinted at it, like
I know it's like true, but. I don't know. I just wasn't getting. It wasn't pulling me in.
I mean, sure. I think the thing is like midway through, there's going to be the choice of like which of the houses do you sort of align with? Because I can't imagine everyone's going to be hunky dory throughout the entirety of the story.
No, definitely not.
I imagine
but like if they tell that in the trailer, then sort of it gives away the game of like, oh, only care about one class. When I think that ultimately like the thing should be like, oh, like I actually like characters from all of these, and that's sort of what makes the tragedy of it have the weight that we would sort of want, hopefully, from it, right?
Here's the thing.
Hopefully, that's the key word, though.
Here's the thing: is that there's 3 choices instead of 2, like in Fire Emblem Fate. So you don't know how your choices are gonna, interplay with those 3 factions, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot.
Yeah,
more,
I think
there's a lot more moving pieces here. It's not just black and white like it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think unlike Fate's, because Fate's biggest weakness was, hey, there's an obvious good side and a bad side, like, it was pretty blatant with that. But whereas this one, I think it leads to, it's nice that it's not 3 separate games, right? Like Fate's was. I think that, like, it being more centralized. And then I think it's cool that they are adding more elements into this franchise outside of just the core strategy game, like on the board, kind of deal. Like they've added so much to the strategy element of this game that it just makes it makes everything matter so much more because you are personally raising up your army now, and I think that's kind of a cool concept. You know?
Yeah.
That is cool, yeah.
There's a lot more.
But you kind of did that
customization.
with in the previous Valiant games, but it wasn't like connected to the story or like the main thing. But yeah, go on.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot more customization in this game. Like from what we
and
can tell.
to really make the army like kind of your own. And I think that's a neat direction for the franchise, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I could see why people Fire Emblem. The thing that you gotta give a little bit of credit to is that they're always trying weird new things, right? So there's always things that may get left behind, things that may not necessarily always resonate. But I think
hopefully that whole time traveling and you getting suns thing is dead.
I mean, I think
I don't think that matchmaking is in this game because they even talked about like the support system, and it's way different from the 3DS entries. You know,
Yeah.
like there's marriages and all that stuff that's no longer in here.
Finally, love is dead. Fuck it.
this is it. We did
No more Fire Emblem and
all
me.
right, I'm
Aw.
Leaving the podcast now.
So it's
But like, I think the main thing is I think that because when I first watched this, I was like kind of Will alluded to, but like in the middle of like the panic of watching a direct, you're like, all right, hurry up. But then actually rewatching this, I was like, actually, this is kind of cool. And I think that this set, like, hey, Three Houses really has its own identity in the franchise, and it's not just a continuation of the 3DS games. And I think that's cool. I think that's a good thing. I like to see the franchise go in a different direction, you know?
Yeah, I definitely agree
I
with
do
that.
too.
Like, I'm excited. That's why I'm hoping and like excited to see what actually new stuff it has to offer and everything, how it's going to play out.
Yeah, especially from the
I
narrative,
think-
right? I think that they're holding back because they sort of.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely think
Yeah.
so. I think this game is gonna get dark.
I hope so. I really
I think
hope
they're
so.
lulling you in with the school, setting,
Yeah.
but it's gonna get dark.
Yeah, and that's
So it's coming out in July.
That's right.
July.
July. That was it was
Little
delayed
far.
a little bit. Yeah,
Little
they
bit
said they
delayed.
very rarely sort of.
Yeah, it was
mention this in
originally
the
supposed to be in
directs.
spring.
Yeah,
Uh,
but I think they said they want to tune it up a little bit before launch, basically, and I think that's a fair call.
Yeah.
I think even from the E3 Direct to this Direct, the game had market improvements in terms of its presentation and sort of how everything looked. The UI is really slick, so I think that if they can keep tuning those fine details up, it can lead to a better game.
I'm excited to
It
play.
looks like it's going to be like fully voice acted, maybe.
Hopefully,
From-
I don't know.
It
I mean,
kinda
Echoes
seems
was.
like it.
I like the
Echoes
cutscenes
was-
Echoes
actually
was, so I
involve
think
people
it seems
talking.
like it is.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned too with Fire Emblem how it, kind of reinventing itself. I think Fire Emblem as a series is kind of a series that needs to in between each like iteration a little bit, because I think that might have been where it almost died because the series was going to die, and everybody knows the story. Well, maybe if you don't, but the swan song was gonna be Awakening, and they had to switch it up, and they did. And I think now they realize let's keep doing that.
Yeah.
I think it's benefited the series ever since.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that like because Awakening, part of what made it so successful, I think we can all agree, is how it kind of had its own identity, right? It was like, this is like a fresh take on Fire Emblem, and rather than them thinking, hey, okay, Awakening got a success, let's just keep doing more Awakening, they're like, no, we need to keep reinventing ourselves. And I think
Right, because they learned their lesson. They're like, well, we can't just rest on it now because we kind of did that and the series floundered because of it.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like this is it's exciting to see that they keep that. They want to keep doing that. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. And then they end that. They start with another set of headlines with a trailer that I did not believe at first. I thought it was going to end up being a joke, but no, it's 100% real. Tetris, 99 players, Tetris blocks drop into a battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
Only one can survive. Tetris 99 Shadow Drops is now out if you haven't played it already.
It's free.
It's free, and it's funny because back when the September Direct happened and they talked about Switch Online, they said they'll get special offers, and we all sort of said like, oh, is that going to be like discounts? This is, I guess, what they meant. Like, this is considered one of their special offers.
Yeah, if you are an NSO subscriber, you get Tetris 99, which is a Tetris Battle Royale game.
Tetris Battle Royale?
Absolutely
Like,
free.
It's really fun, but really dumb at the same time. Fuck that game.
I like it. It's very fun.
I think that's part of the charm, though. I think that it's like, and it's funny because it seemed to have worked because like it's one of the things that actually had got the most buzz coming from this direct. It's been getting a lot of Twitch views, funnily enough. Like it's just like people.
I mean, it's definitely my favorite fucking battle royale game out there. So
I mean, it's a hilarious sentence, you know. Tetris battle royale. Like, I mean, come on, you know.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
there was a guy not to mention too much, but on Reset Era, he made a thread. Tetris is the progenitor of the battle royale genre. Back in like October, everyone said, "What are you talking about, dude? This is stupid. There's no way that Tetris has anything to do with battle royale." And this was yesterday, and he's like, "I told you, motherfuckers. I told you." Which was very funny.
I just want to mention that the first match I played, I won.
he did.
Really?
Fucking great.
Oh my god, that's wow.
The Hunt. What's the chicken dinner equivalent? I don't know.
I did it. I don't know. Epic victory royale. I did it. I didn't have to give anybody my credit card numbers.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, you technically gave it to Nintendo for Nintendo Switch Online.
Well, yeah, you're right. I did.
To subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online.
All right. And now we're going to get into the portion of the direct that I call the Try Harder Corner, which is Dead by Daylight, Grid Auto Sport, and Assassin's Creed 3 all show up, and they're all, sometimes getting into double-digit FPS, but
they look bad. Let's not mince words.
Did not look
bad. Yeah, what the fuck was Assassin's Creed? I noticed slowdown just in that fucking.
I mean, they wanted to be true to the original Assassin's Creed 3 experience.
By having bugs,
man. You know?
It runs worse than the Wii U version, though.
That's how it was on 360 and PS3. Did you play that game? That has terrible performance issues. So they wanted to be true to the experience. You know, you want to play it like I remember.
They literally dragged and dropped, which was very funny.
Dead by Daylight, I think, was the standout. God, this looks awful.
That looks like a real bad game.
Which is,
the thing just performance-wise.
I mean, yeah. It's, I went and I looked, because I kept track of this game over the last couple of years, and on the PS4 version, it's the most downloaded PS Plus game of all time, which is crazy to me. It got more downloads the month it was free than Ratchet and Clank did when it was free, and it has basically every. It has Freddy in it, and it has Leatherface in it now. It has a ton of actual licensed, horror villains. It's everyone but Jason, because they have the Friday the 13th game. And, really neat concept for a game. But boy, do not get this on Switch, it looks like. This is not the place to do it.
It looks so janky.
Yeah.
I mean, even from what I've seen, even on PC and stuff, it's it's not as bad as the Switch version, as we can see, but it's very repetitive too, and it's fun for a while, but then it gets boring really fast. At least for what I've seen.
Yeah. But in other stuff that is cool, they had Deltarune, which, as we mentioned before, Toby Fox's Undertale kind of follow-up. The first chapter is coming on Switch on the 28th. It's also coming on PS4, but that wasn't mentioned obviously in the direct. But
I was so confused that he decided to put that on Switch. I don't know.
I mean, Undertale did really well on Switch, I think, is the thing. It was on
I mean,
the eShop
for one,
chart
this was they used this as direct confirmation that, hey, Deltarune, when it comes out, will be on the Switch. They said that. Yeah. Which is cool. And I think I wanted to play Deltarune, and I couldn't get my gamepad to work on my PC, and I was like, screw it, I don't want to do this anymore. So I'll try chapter 1. I'll try chapter 1 on my Switch.
I think that there's just a console audience of people that will be playing this for the first time on Switch and on PS4. Daemon X Machina. Sorry, go ahead.
Why is that game not coming out on Xbox? Is the serious question that we need to ask ourselves every day.
Well, the weird thing was, I think it was literally just originally because Toby Fox was one guy, so he had to. The 8-4 Play people did the PS4 version. I don't know if they did the Switch version, but I guess they just didn't. And they had experience with working on PS4 in the past. They didn't have experience working on Xbox. But it should be, come on.
It should be. I will buy it
should
and
it
actually
be?
Play it. Because I will play it finally. All right.
Will you? I mean, I feel like you had an opportunity for so long.
Well, I own it on Steam, and I played it for like an hour, but I was like, man, I'm not getting any Xbox achievements. I don't care.
Fuck off.
Well, you could be you could be getting Xbox achievements on your Nintendo Switch.
One day. It's just, man, whatever. Let's move on. Brandon made me mad.
Daemon X Machina got a prototype demo. They made it clear to say, hey, this is a demo that we're using partially for feedback. Like, give us, some of you will be getting surveys in your email. The rest of you can just let us know on social media, which feels like you're inviting just a bunch of people to yell at you. But Shadow dropped a 5-mission demo. It's pretty cool. I played a little bit of it.
It's made Saf a very happy boy, but a very sleepy boy as well. That's why he's not here, by the way.
That's why, yes. There we go. Thank you.
He played it so much, he wore himself out and fell asleep.
Yeah, so they did that. Pretty cool. Clearly still a work in progress from the stuff I played, but there's a good core to it, so, I'm looking forward to them tuning stuff up.
You use every goddamn button on the controller playing that game. It's
you should.
But I mean, hey, if you're controlling a mech, I bet there's many controls. So it's true to life.
True to life.
Then there was just a big whole slot of third party stuff. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is getting a release in spring 2019, so that's actually coming relatively soon.
And it looks pretty. It's like this should not be running on Switch. Holy shit! Like, it looks good.
UE4 has a thing. I don't know. Hellblade is on UE4, so is Dragon Quest, and like those are the two that look good, and everything else doesn't. I don't know. It's very strange.
Maybe this is just proof. Hey, you can make your Switch ports work if you.
Yeah.
If you're not Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
Then we're getting Mortal Kombat 11, April 23rd, same day as everything else. Getting Unravel 2 is coming to Switch, which is cool. That game suited for
good
Switch.
game. Noah and I streamed that entire game, by the way.
We did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we did. I was looking forward to this game, but then like it didn't come to Switch, and I was like, but yeah, maybe fine, I'll play it.
Then we got a little bit of follow up to Last Direct's Final Fantasy whole lineup. We got dates on it. Final Fantasy 7 is coming March 26th. Final Fantasy 9, however, Shadow dropped, already out. And
the better game is out.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. The game's amazing.
It's funny. This was the right move, though, because it's people are gonna buy FF7 no matter when it comes out, But so I saw people mad.
I love FF9. I should get it.
I saw people mad that God damn it, why didn't you put FF7? But giving FF9 like the shadow drop bump and making it come first, it's like, all right, you know what? To satiate my appetite, let me play 9 first before 7 comes out.
Can I just ask about Final Fantasy 9? What the fuck is that price? Why is it $20.99?
$21.
This is what they always do.
What the hell price is that? Make it $19.99.
No, Square Enix
bitch.
loves to just add like $1. They like if it's supposed to be $14.99.
This is Square Enix's fault.
Yeah, they do.
Yo, that shit.
They love to price things at
$15.99,
$20.99. They're bastards.
Fuck that shit. I don't like that at all. Get out of town.
Well, in any case, it's a really good game. And better,
and
better than Final Fantasy VII.
I hear it's real good.
Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. Everybody is coming March 20th.
Everybody.
Mystery Dungeon can suck a dick.
Wow, hold on. Let's all calm down.
Okay.
The love is gone. Yeah, so there we go. I mean, they end it. Here you go. We finished with all that stuff. Now, Koizumi's back on stage. You stick around, everybody. We got some stuff to show you.
Very end.
Here we go. Very end. We get one trailer for a game that we're like, what is this? What is this game? People were saying, is this Xenoblade Chronicles X2? I heard multiple people say it.
Did not think
like
that.
A lot of
when
people
I first like the whole C segment, I was like, I'm getting Alundra vibes, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is like the Link's Awakening.
Not that one.
No, we're talking about the first thing, Astral Chain.
No.
Noah was sitting right next to me. I called that shit what it was before. Man, come on.
I actually thought it could be a Xenoblade game.
Yeah, so when I was watching this trailer, like first I was like, is this? I couldn't tell because first I was like, is this Platinum or is this Monolith? And like throughout the trailer I was like, Platinum, Monolith, Platinum, Monolith. I don't know.
Platinum.
I called that shit. It was Platinum.
Because like
as soon
the
as I saw
combat
people
had
fight.
like those like that trademark effects that when you do something in a Platinum game, but the aesthetic and like all the characters, like it just screamed like Xenoblade to me, And I was like, I can't tell.
I mean, It's cell shaded. There's a sci-fi element to it. You're playing as like two twins. You pick which one of the two you play as at the start, and you have this chain, the astral chain, that you throw out, and whenever you do, you see them. Actually, they're holding it all the time. But you throw it out, another assist basically pops out, and you can use that in your action platinum combat, right? So instead of just you doing combos, you can have them sort of do juggles. There's one that is like a sword-ish type character. There's a dog. You see your character pets the dog. Very cute. But whole new IP. It's mostly the Nier Automata team. Kamiya is supervising. The composer for Nier Automata, which has a great soundtrack, is doing this one. You could hear it when you listen back. But it's coming soon, August 30th, which is, for a new IP.
That's
amazing.
This is another game that we did not know existed the day before, and then here we are. It's coming out in August. It's a brand new IP. It's so cool. I love the aesthetic of this game. I love Platinum in general. Love Nier Automata in particular. So yeah, I mean, getting a new game from this team, which is a proven team, and just more Platinum goodness. Happy to see Nintendo continue to work with Platinum. And it's. I love it. I love how this game looks.
Crazy that Square did not give the Automata team like, hey, get back in our offices the day after that game sold well. But they just let
I don't know. It's weird. I can't believe Nintendo was able to snatch them up like this. That's crazy. But hey, another Switch exclusive, and it looks great. So like, I'm super happy. This is a great trailer too.
Dude,
great trailer.
Looks awesome.
Just shows you how crazy this game
is.
is. Oh man, excited
for sure. And they also said Bayonetta 3 is still being worked on.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, boy.
The obligatory, they're working very hard.
Don't worry, it's coming.
And beautiful Joe 3.
Okay,
we'll hear about it.
All right.
I mean, it is worth mentioning. Kamiya still does not have a game he is directing. He made sure to make a point on Twitter that he's not directing this game. And he has not been directing a game since Scalebound. So who knows what's going on with that guy.
So like my fear with that, if we want to talk a little bit about Platinum for a little bit, like I wonder if like Kamiya has kind of stepped back from a development role and more in a supervisory role now. Is that what that means? Or is he still working on a game? I don't know. Who knows? There's weird murmurs about Platinum going on. It feels like Bayonetta just feels like it should be out by now. It's just it's one crazy to see that this game is coming out like before Bayonetta. Like this, it's cool, but also it's like what's going on with Bayonetta? What's going on with Kamiya? What's going on just in general at Platinum? I don't know. It's
the thing
weird.
is they had a lot of plate spinning.
Yeah.
Up until a month ago, they were working on that Grand Blue Fantasy game. There's a lot.
But I think also the thing is though they've had so many troubles lately, right? Like Grand Blue, they got kicked out of Grand Blue. Side Games took that in-house.
We don't know the behind the scenes.
Sure, but like it seems very likely that like Side Games did not want to ruin the contract with them, and then Scalebound was a major cancellation. Like, I'm sure we can. From our side, we can easily pin the blame on like evil Microsoft or whatever. I just think that like this doesn't relate specifically to Astral Chain, but just like I'm curious about like what's going on at Platinum right now.
What a Debbie Downer you are.
They're making Beautiful Joe 3. What do you think's going on?
Nailed it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Can you just be happy for once?
Yeah.
But Astral Chain looks great. If we're going to talk about that specific game, though, that looks fantastic. So
coming from Ills telling you to be happy for once, you really got to fucking rethink
how the roles have changed.
You're bringing me down.
And then, well, you know what's going to bring us back up? The final game.
Yes.
Boy, what a thing. You get that stormy sea like Noah mentioned. Boy, Link's Awakening, baby. It's coming. It's remastered. Link's got little dots for eyeballs. It's adorable.
Oh, no.
And
it's so good.
I want to say something. Anyone who thinks that this is not a good fit for Link's Awakening, the look, you're stupid. Okay? You've not played the game because this is a perfect fit for that whole the whole concept. It's so cute looking. It's so whimsical and oh my god. Brandon, you should talk about this game more though because it's your favorite Zelda game.
It is. It's my favorite Zelda. I mean, we just talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I added it to the list. I don't know how many weeks ago, but I did. Man, I fucking love this game so much. This is very exciting to me that they're remaking it.
Brandon's talked so many good things about that game. I can't wait to try it because I never got to play it.
Man. it's just really, really good. I love it, and I love the outcry on the internet now. There's all of a sudden a bunch of people crawling out of the woodworks like, I loved Link's Awakening this whole time. Let me take a bunch of yo, boy, where the hell were you people the last fucking 20 years, man?
Apparently,
This game is awesome.
Yeah.
I love this game. It's my favorite Zelda game. It's not what I don't consider it the best Zelda game. It is my favorite, and there's multiple reasons for it. The puzzles, the dungeons are great. The atmosphere is fun. It's cute. It's just the characters are a joy to talk to. Everything about this game is just great. I love it so much, and I can't wait to replay it. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. Like, are they gonna add more stuff? Even if they don't add more stuff, fine. But if they do, I'm excited for that, to see what they do with it. I'm excited to just see all these, parts of the game that I've always loved, in a new light. And yeah, man, I'm very happy about this. I love the way it looks. It looks great. If you played the game, you will realize that this is, kind of how it's supposed to look. And I get, there's the people who, why did it look so all anime? First of all, you know what? Fuck you. All right. I'm gonna spoil the game right now for you. It's a fucking dream. All right. And you know what? Fuck you.
Yeah.
This game looks great. All right. If you think it looks like shit, at me on Twitter. I will fight you. Okay? Find us. Jump Up Supercast on Twitter. I will tweet you back. So you are wrong.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna throw in on this, just dumping on the haters on this, because I saw a bunch of people being like, "Why does this look so kiddie? Isn't this game supposed to be dark?" And it's like, if you say that, you literally only read the Wikipedia summary. That's what you did.
Yeah, like you haven't actually played the fucking game to know that.
Yeah, like part of the reason.
Yeah, exactly my point. That's what I said. If you played this game, you look at it and you're like, this is, what this game would look like.
Yeah,
and like it. Yeah.
I do want to say
Link has little beady eyes. It's like they took the sprite and just pulled it and made it into like a little toy, and it's so cool.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. It looks just like everything's made out of toys in this game. It's so cool.
The thing with it is like, I don't think it's a spoiler for a 20-year-old game really, but like it's like a dream game, right? It's not a typical Zelda world.
I think like whimsical is like the best way to describe Link's Awakening, and I think that like that the art style translates that perfectly.
And everything they showed in that trailer, I knew exactly where it was from. Like, it was like so lovingly recreated. Like, it's exactly the way it looks.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it looks. You can pinpoint all the different locales. You know them. They're. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait to see that alligator man.
I wonder if they're gonna do a weird add a new mechanic. Like, I mean, what's it? A Link Between Worlds is. Like, it's not really a remake of A Link to the Past, but it's very similar. Like, it takes place, story-wise, it takes place in the same overworld and everything. So it kind of felt like a sequel / redo. I don't know what the word would be.
So I think it's worth noting, in the press release, they do call it a reimagining.
Reimagine, that's the word. I wonder if they're going to do that with Awakening, too, in a sense.
Yeah, no. I'm saying for Link's Awakening, they call it a reimagining, which is the same phrasing they used for Samus Returns, if you want to make a direct comparison.
Okay.
I wonder. I do think using the same name means that it will be very much the same game, right? But I think that using that term reimagining means that there is wiggle room here. There's things, a room for additions, changes, whatnot, whatever,
Yeah.
So yeah, I think.
Inherently, there's going to be more buttons, so you don't have to go into the menus as much to swap items, which is nice.
It will be nice to play this game with more than 2 buttons.
All I need is DNA. Come on.
There was a lot of items and only 2 buttons.
I mean, Link's Awakening DX had the color dungeon where, it uses the Game Boy colors, the fact to have stuff. There could be
that's in there.
Yeah, there's literally precedent for this game to add new stuff, right?
I'm so happy. I'm going to replay through the original just because I love it.
Yeah. And I do want to say, I think it's interesting, the reception to this game. I think it was the standout announcement of the game. If you look at like the retweets it's gotten, if you look at the YouTube views it's gotten, just the social media buzz, like this was the biggest announcement of the Direct, which is crazy in the same Direct that Mario Maker 2 is. I did not expect a 2D Zelda game to be able to generate that buzz. If you asked me 2 years ago after Breath of the Wild came out, it was like, hey, well, they've traditionally put 2D Zelda and 3D Zelda on different platforms. Can they coexist on the same system? And after Breath of the Wild, I think a lot of people were like, I don't know, is there room for 2D Zelda on the same platform as Breath of the Wild, right? But I
gotta
think
believe
it's a resounding yes so far. You know, I think that it's really comforting to see that, hey, like, this style of Zelda, not only like a top-down 2D Zelda, traditional Zelda game, right? But also like straight up a handheld Zelda game, right? Like, this is a remake of a handheld Zelda game. And
well, we were talking about
I wonder
this.
if they're going to come out with any original 2D Zeldas like that, though.
Maybe.
I mean, I think it's comforting at least that Link's Awakening, like I said, a straight up handheld game is able to exist on the Switch. You know, it's cool to see.
We
were I hope it does well.
Quote.
We were talking about this when we were doing the ranking. This game is a really big game for a Game Boy game. So I mean, I feel like it fits. Like I feel like there's enough content for a Switch.
I mean, I think there was just
title.
there's always the concern with anything of like, like, oh, like how does this translate? Whenever you have a big breakthrough, like, I mean, when Mario went 3D, it didn't go 2D for a long time after, like, and if it did, it lived on handhelds. So I think there was sort of that concern with Breath of the Wild being this huge thing. But I mean, like you said, Link, I think the Link's Awakening has actually gotten its star has risen over the years. Brandon touched on it in a second there of people saying, like, this is my favorite Zelda game. Like, this is a really good one. This is the one that's often slept on. And I think there's a lot of people that have heard now of Link's Awakening, like Noah has, and are like, hey, this is the perfect time for me to try out this game that I've heard so much about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how they ended the Direct. And that's how we're going to end our conversation around the Direct, I suppose. An hour. Not too bad. Not too good. Sorry, Saf. But we still, as always, have to make time for the list. All right, so I'm walking into this one. I got 3 games queued up because I don't know who's played what. So we're just gonna start first and foremost with the game that was not gonna get high on the list probably, but I want to talk about it because Brandon, I have similar feelings to this game that you have with another game. That is the 2003 Nintendo GameCube release Pokemon Channel. Did anyone play this game? Did anyone get this game?
Played it.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played this.
No.
I have played this game, but what an interesting pick for the list.
That is a weird choice, but I like it. Let's go.
Okay. Here's the deal. I was about to swear some more. This game is like not a video game. They sold this thing, Brandon. You talk about Pokemon Snap for $60. This game was $60. You're watching Pikachu watch a anime.
Excuse me. GameCube games were $50.
I'm sorry, Brandon. There is a part. So this was like it's like a weird pseudo sequel to Hey You Pikachu. Hey You Pikachu, infamous, famous in equal parts for Pikachu just being a little turd throughout that entire game, right? You're telling him what to do with your N64 microphone. In Pokemon Channel, there is no way to tell Pikachu what to do. You are his slave. What Pikachu wants, Pikachu gets, and you can't tell him otherwise. If Pikachu wants to watch TV, hey, I could do that without plugging up my GameCube, Nintendo. You go and you watch the Pichu Brothers. This is a 5-minute short of 2 Pichus being cute. Great on the first watch. Problems along the way. You can't full screen it. You have to see the Pikachu on the side and the screen itself and like the whole surrounding thing of the TV. You're not even gonna watch this crap.
No. I remember. I'm pretty sure you were able to full screen it.
And then, but okay, sure. Maybe
I remember that specifically because I was just randomly watching the TV, like the show, like you were mentioning, and then all of a sudden, fucking Pikachu changed the channel. I was like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yes. Pikachu will just change the channel in the middle of watching something. You're like, Pikachu, stop! What are you doing? There's the Psyduck news where it's just Psyduck going "Psy for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to watch.
I did like the Wobble Fett game
progress.
show though. That was a funny one.
The game show one is fun. There's like cute things to this game, but like I went back and I looked at it recently. There's a moment where you're like, I want to go outside, and Pikachu just goes over, closes the door, and goes, "We're not going outside." He's kidnapped you. This is an insane video game. This was the height of Pokemania. Like, it was not actually the heights of Pokemania, but it was the heights of the hubris of just like, you will pay us to be in a room with Pikachu watching a Krabby make noises for 5 minutes. It also has real-time elements. You cannot progress in the game without 2 weeks of real time. There's a part where the TV breaks and you just can't play the game for a day.
Yeah, and they actually go outside and do shit. Yeah,
it's a
because
weird,
Pikachu basically
weird
gets
video
mad
game.
and fucking thunderbolts the TV.
He gets mad. It's a weird video game. I don't know. You cannot make. It would feel weird on a mobile phone today. But I don't know. The question is like, there's no game parts to this, right?
No, it's not a game where you play. It's just a game where you just spend time with Pikachu. That's literally it. It's charming in some ways, but yeah, the only reason I got it was because if you beat the game in the European version, if you beat the game, you get a Jirachi, and you can transfer it over to your game. That's literally why I bought
the English
it.
version. That's what the North American version. That's what they did. That got me because I wanted Jirachi so bad.
Yeah.
Man, you should have just been a good person like me and got Jirachi from pre-ordering an actual good game like Pokemon Coliseum.
Well,
I didn't know what pre-ordering was. That
wasn't an option in Europe. Sorry, Brandon. I had to suffer for Jirachi.
It is
I can
so
forget I'm older
funny
than
to
you,
me
Will.
though that like they hold Jirachi hostage with buying this $50 game. Like, imagine
And you have to beat the game.
and you have to, it's not good enough to like.
It takes a full 2 weeks to get the Jirachi after you drop the.
Hey, you gotta earn that Jirachi, alright?
I knew going into this that it's gonna be. It's a side game, so I knew immediately all Pokemon fucking side games are shit and like fucking shit
not all
compared
of
to
them.
goddamn
Not all of
mainline
them.
games.
I wouldn't say all of them are shit.
90% of them are shit.
Some of them are.
But yeah, like Pokemon the Dash. I'm not even gonna. Anyway, but yeah. So I had very, very low expectations going in, so I was not expecting much. So it wasn't so much of a burden on me, but I'm not going back to it ever.
I just want to mention it. Remind you guys in pain because you did this for a Jirachi. Reminds me of the pain I put myself through to get a stupid fucking Manaphy. Because you had the only way you could get it was to beat Pokemon Ranger.
Yes.
And that game sucks too. And I got really lucky because apparently if you can only get one per game cart for Pokemon Ranger. Once you beat the game, you get it. I bought the game used.
Oh
not
god.
knowing that.
Oh,
Luckily, the person I bought it from did not beat the game. I was like, I was so happy.
I was just about to say, don't buy that game used because DS.
only
You
so
have no
many
idea how
Manaphy.
mad I would have been.
Yeah.
I would have been fucking furious because that game is not good as well.
But it sounds like
So,
from what
Will,
you're saying,
where are you-
this game is like a console version of like a Tamagotchi or some shit.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
again, like, it entertains me for a bit. I had a good time, I guess, but it's a shit game. It's not a game.
I mean,
So where do you want to put it?
where do I want to put it? I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm like looking at the games. I think Pokemon Channel's gonna end up in hell, maybe.
Yeah,
Potentially,
boy.
yeah.
I would put it maybe. Would I put it? I think I would put it below Knack, maybe above Knack. I can't.
I put it.
Knack is also very boring.
Knack
but
is very
at least-
boring, but you can.
That's the thing, though. With Pikachu, with Hey You Pikachu, I was entertained by the random shit that the TV was playing.
I was never entertained in Knack. There was not a single moment in that game where I was like, I am enthralled.
But Knack is. There's a jump button in Knack. You have to respect that.
The jump button doesn't mean shit especially when the jump doesn't feel good.
Pokemon Channel has a button where you can tell Pikachu to interact with things.
And he'll do it sometimes. Sometimes he will. When Pikachu wants to.
You need more badges.
Also, you get Delibird to. There's a shop channel where you can buy stuff and Delibird brings it to your room.
There's TV mail order. I guess I would be willing to put
Is
it
it
above
better-
Knack, I guess.
Is it better than Discworld Noir? Or worse?
I've heard Discworld Noir is a miserable experience from you guys. So that's
It is, but it's also has good things like all the characters in it are
That's- yeah.
fun. It has some.
the thing.
It's I wouldn't. I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't put it
I
above
could
this
say
world.
are good. There are things I could say that are good in Discworld. There's like in Pokemon.
Everything but playing Discworld is good.
Yeah. Or we're playing Pokemon Channel. You don't play.
We can put it below.
You don't play. That's the thing. You just watch Pokemon Channel.
Yeah. I want
to put it. I'd say above Knack, below Discworld.
Okay. All right. Well, there we go. I don't know why it struck me to do this one, but I thought about it and I was like, I can't believe they did. That's crazy. So there it is. 81 on the list. We have surrounding it. Is Hell officially in the list, Brandon, or is this just for us?
What? Hell?
It should. It should be. It should be on the list. I feel like it should be.
Okay.
Okay, we mentioned Hell. We can always mention Hell. I take Hell out of the list when I put it in the paste bin.
What is wrong with this, man?
I can start leaving it there, though. If you guys are interested in seeing exactly where Hell lies,
well, if you're wondering and knowing, Metroid Other M is the gatekeeper. If you're below it, you are in Hell. If you're a Metroid Other M, you're also in Hell. Surrounding it, 79 is Other M, 80 Discworld Noir, 81 Pokemon Channel, 82 Knack, 83 Trash It. That is the podcast for this week. Apologies to Saf. Ills, because you did not play Pokemon Channel. You please offer us the final phrase. Also, because you made Muzi. You told Muzi to be positive. I'm still thinking about that. What a moment.
I didn't play Pokemon Channel either, but what the fuck?
Sorry, Brandon. But did you tell him? It's fine. Anyways, we're gonna plug.
I'm just kidding.
Next week, Brandon, you'll have it locked and loaded.
What's this man doing?
We're gonna plug twitch.tv/JumpUpSupercast. Watch us play video games there sometimes. Brandon continues the year-long quest, potentially to only beat Xenoblade Chronicles of the 5 games that he has to beat, but he's gonna beat it.
I'm gonna beat every single one of those games. So
I'm not gonna worry. I trust you.
Did you get to Gar playing?
Did he?
Doesn't matter. All right, watch the Twitch stream and you'll find out. All right.
What a question. So there you go. So one day.
No more. I'm not telling you where I am anymore. You have to watch Twitch.
You'll never get in a car play.
And if you want to know where I am, you have to subscribe to us on Twitch so you can find out when I'm playing the game. Okay?
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, you can't subscribe to us yet, but you can follow us. Subscribing would be giving us money.
Whatever the fuck it's called.
Subscribing would be giving us money, which would also be very nice, but they won't let us do that yet. And then
maybe one day you can follow us first, so maybe one day you can subscribe to us.
Twitter.com/JumpUpSupercast is where we will tweet when we go live with episodes of this podcast, the Jump Up Supercast Game Club, which comes out every other Thursday. In your feed right now, you should be seeing Sin and Punishment, the most previous game club. And every Monday, this podcast comes out. That is the big stuff. We also have the Facebooks, Instagrams, where you can also follow us for updates and for dumb pictures that Brandon makes. They're not dumb, they're wonderful, Brandon. But all that having been said, Ills, the final phrase.
I'm just glad this director's fucking awesome. Let's keep it going, boys.